How do children go from seeing the world in black and white to understanding complex ideas like time, fairness, or abstract reasoning? Swiss psychologist Jean Piaget dedicated his career to answering this question. His theory of cognitive development is one of the most influential in developmental psychology. Piaget believed that children are not just mini-adults, their thinking is fundamentally different from that of grown-ups. He proposed that children actively construct knowledge by interacting with their environment, like little scientists experimenting with the world around them. Piaget identified 4 stages of cognitive development, each representing a different way of thinking and understanding. Let's walk through each stage. 1. The sensorimotor stage, birth to 2 years. In this stage, infants learn through their senses and actions, touching, grabbing, looking, and listening. A key concept here is object permanence, the understanding that objects continue to exist even when they're out of sight. For example, if you hide a toy under a blanket, a baby under 8 months old might act like it disappeared. But by around 8 to 12 months, babies begin to search for the toy, a sign they understand it still exists. Piaget believed that mastering object permanence marks the beginning of mental representation, the ability to hold ideas in the mind, which is crucial for more advanced thinking. 2. The pre-operational stage, 2 to 7 years. During this stage, children develop language and can use symbols, like words or drawings, to represent objects. But their thinking is still limited in key ways. One limitation is egocentrism, the inability to see things from another person's perspective. In one of Piaget's classic experiments, children were shown a model of mountains and asked what someone on the other side would see. Young children often described what they themselves saw, not realizing the other person had a different view. Another feature is centration, focusing on one aspect of a situation while ignoring others. For example, in a conservation task, children might see 2 glasses with the same amount of liquid. When one is poured into a taller, thinner glass, they'll often say it has more, because it looks taller, even though the quantity hasn't changed. These errors show that while children can think symbolically, their logic isn't fully developed yet. 3. The concrete operational stage, 7 to 11 years. Now children begin to think more logically, but their reasoning is tied to concrete, physical things. They can now pass conservation tasks, understand reversibility, and classify objects into categories. They begin to grasp cause and effect and can perform simple mental math. But abstract concepts, like hypothetical scenarios, complex problem solving, or moral dilemmas, are still challenging. 4. The formal operational stage, 12 and up. In this final stage, individuals develop the ability to think abstractly, reason logically, and imagine hypothetical situations. Teenagers in this stage can think about possibilities rather than just realities. They can form hypotheses and test them systematically, similar to how scientists think. For example, if asked, what would happen if people didn't sleep? A child in the concrete stage might say, they'd be tired. A teenager in the formal stage might talk about brain function, health consequences, or social impacts. Not everyone reaches this stage at the same age, and some may not fully develop formal operational thinking without the right educational experiences. Now, it's important to note, Piaget's theory isn't without criticism. Modern research suggests that children may develop certain abilities earlier than Piaget thought, especially if tasks are presented in simpler or more familiar ways. Studies by researchers like René Bellargin showed that even infants as young as 3 months may show signs of object permanence under the right conditions. Despite these critiques, Piaget's ideas have had a lasting impact. He helped shift psychology toward a deeper appreciation of how children's thinking evolves, and how learning is not just about absorbing facts, but building knowledge through experience. In the next video, we'll look at a different take on childhood learning, one that emphasizes the social and cultural side of development, Lev Vygotsky's sociocultural theory.